All right. Welcome, 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 welcome. So let's get, oh my God, is my camera really gonna, I have to switch these up. Hold on one second. No, it should be good. Okay. So we are good. Phone is away. Okay. So family reading time. First of three, back to back to back. Not in the same day, obviously. That would be taxing, to say the least. So Annie, obviously I've done your chart. You've received, the messages inherent in that reading. Um, so the goal here is to understand um, the children. And 1 second. Hold on. Yeah, it's to understand the children, your children, right? Um, with your chart done, I just have to look at it and, comes back to me. You messaged me about being paranoid, and I literally said, okay, I need to message you back right now. This is too funny. I'm just telling you. Yeah, you're asking me. Yeah, it's just too funny. Um, but yeah, okay. So I'm just kind of like re-downloading the information because we're not here to focus on you. I mean, you obviously will be, you're the mother, but we're here to focus on the kids, and I need to use initials. Although I want to keep, I want to just keep it. I need to keep. I want to keep the first name because it just adds energy. I'm just gonna like only have their first names. Yeah, I don't like just initials because there's energy in a name. And that's okay. Your last name is hidden. Okay. So I want to present it to I'm sure. All right. So okay, so we have 2019, right? I'm just checking on the order to make sure it's good. Okay. So I like to start. I like to go in order. 1 second. I need to remove that. Okay. I like to go start from the firstborn. Um, and hold on, I need to recheck your message. So go back to that list. Okay, so yeah, okay, I see. And then I have their dads, but that's not part of the reading. But I have his information in there just because, you know, it's important. So lots of Gemini, Cat Moon. Okay, gotcha. Interesting. So yeah, let's start by looking kind of in the context of the firstborn. So essentially here, you know, we have like yourself, a Virgo sun. I'm actually gonna, because of the family reading, I'm gonna no, no, I'm not gonna do that. Let me load this aspect grid. Okay, so you know, like yourself, you know, there's a lot of Earth energy. Your sun is firstborn is very similar to you. If I'm not correct, yeah, you guys literally have the same sun and moon. So, obviously that's like a dream come true. To have like, I mean, if I had a kid and it was a Pisces Sag, I'd be like, oh shit, yes, thank you God. Because it just creates an energy where there's like, regardless of what else is in the chart, you have that connection. You know, like you guys are similar. You guys are very similar. You know, him having a Cancer ascendant, obviously, and you know his Mars in 12th house. So okay, he's born 2007, so that makes him like a teen. So three, yeah. So he's like just entering. He's probably, yeah, in high school. Okay, so so with where he's at right now, he's entering, you know, he's you know, unlike the younger ones, he's um entering into him, he's entered into himself, and he's, you know, the high school years are very formative, but you know, a lot of the personality has been formed or is forming. So it's more about understanding, um of course, like parenting tips and all that, but yeah, it's all about understanding. So okay, so with Sion, I know it's an Irish name. I always butcher the Irish names. Sean. Ah, fuck. So he's got like you, a Sun in Virgo and the Taurus Moon. So right off the bat, he probably is very grounded, even with the Cancer Moon. And you know, he's, the thing is though, he has his Sun conjunct South Node and also Saturn. So he was definitely like a king or a very high up person in society in past lives, or in the past life karma he's dealing with. Like having your Sun on the South Node is very indicative of that. Um, and on a karmic level, he's trying to get to a place, and this might not manifest now, but it will, because he's been very much karmically, he's been kind of in the realm of the material world, right? Of success, of power, of and it's kept him away from moving towards more spirituality. So areas that I would really encourage for him would be travel, which I've noticed the different, you know, being born in Ireland and then the other one's being born in Australia. And I'm sorry, I have so many clients, but I think you're based in Australia. I'm pretty sure. So getting to see different cultures for him is one of the most important things. you know, his ninth house North Node in Pisces, because really, like, it's very easy for him to get caught in this South Node trap, which there's zero to worry about for him in terms of like success. He's got Venus in the second house in Leo. It is retrograde, right? But like still that is, good for money. But like what I see here is someone who can have a tendency to be too much in the here and now, too much in, like, how like low vibe Virgo is like kind of like, as you said, like low vibe Virgo worries about lots of things, and lots of like kind of like the day by day things, of course it's very important to, as a Virgo, to understand, and I love, that part of me as I stare into this beautiful full moon, that part of me, which is my mother, that keeps things organized, keeps things clean, understands that it's a step-by-step basis to get, you need to take things step by step to get to a certain destination. You can't just get there, you know what I mean? So like success will come is not something that'll be hard for him. And I don't see. Oh, okay. So there. Okay, yeah. That's okay. That's what I thought. Success, like, will come to him. He has a Taurus moon, which is very good for, as you know. It's literally, I don't have to tell you. Like, you know what a Taurus moon is. You have one. And then he has Ceres, which is kind of like, it's very similar to the moon about like nurturing, right? It's a very important asteroid, one of the four main asteroids. It's conjunct his moon, so like, he's a nurturer, and he likes to nurture himself, nurture his senses. Now, some of the issues come into the square with Neptune and Saturn, the T square that's formed that shoots out into Scorpio. And basically, like, what that can do is that even as a Taurus moon, it can create confusion. And I'll show the chart. So, and by the way, like, when I do readings these days, I like to go back and forth between being on camera and being off. Sometimes I like literally like meditate and do stuff like that. So, yeah, like, this T square. So the moon is afflicted by Neptune and Saturn. So Neptune, and I'll get back to the North Node stuff as I do my thing. I see this is a very spiritual chart, and it might not manifest right away. But like, like North Node in Pisces means that the soul has come in this lifetime to try to move towards being more in touch with God, if you want to lack of a better word, or source, or the universe, or oneness, to find higher meaning, to not be in this like physical existence of just like money and job and this and that. So when he does things that go that direction, even though they might feel so natural, it's not going to be for his greater good. His greater good is linked to spirituality in some sense. And remember, there's a level of fate. There's timing for all this. Myself, I was never, I was like a big partier in high school. I was, it took me rehab to wake up, basically. It took me a very difficult upbringing, on like a psychological level. So, automatically, I think that, when there's that Neptune square the moon, I think, okay, well, he needs to learn to he needs to learn to see himself better, and he needs to learn about boundaries, right? Which is easy with having that much Earth, but still there can be a level of difficulty. So I think like the T square, and the Saturn part speaks more to like it can actually Saturn and Moon can lead to periods of melancholy, depression, feeling like held back, like you're held back from like expressing your true vulnerability. And then the Neptune can kind of make it so there's like lots of confusion around the emotions. And it can also make it so like he feels everything so intensely, like it's an empath energy, but it's like it's difficult when you're young. So he does definitely have to watch out for like hanging out with the wrong crowd, and because like Neptune square Moon can make someone a chameleon in the sense that they can be yeah, like if he's hanging out with like the raw, like people who have like a bad influence, it can really have an effect on him. And he definitely is someone who needs to have like alone time. He'll definitely feel more grounded when he's able to get that. But ultimately, at some point in his life, the T-square will be triggered, and it all links. You see how like the T-square shoots out in Scorpio, right? It's like a bow and arrow. The opposite of Taurus is Scorpio, 5th house Scorpio. So that brings me to the next point about creativity. I'm curious if he has a creative outlet, if he has something he's doing, because vertex there in Scorpio, it indicates that, by being in touch with his inner child through some form of creativity, it can be the best outlet for his emotions, whether that's like learning, something with music, or, you can imagine endless outlets that are positive. But really, like a lot of clients I have who have these types of aspects, they tend to need some kind of therapy, or they need to be watched closely. But thank God he has a Taurus moon, not like any other kind of moon, because he has an exalted moon. So on some level, he'll be less affected than a lot of other people would, right? So you guys have a similar chart, but like, this aspect is very difficult, these two aspects. So, and then Saturn in Virgo at 0 degrees, he's coming this lifetime to really learn kind of lessons around Virgo and around like the higher energy of Virgo, and getting past perfectionism, right? Because like it's very important for him to not feel like his value is based on his performance in school, or in anything like that, anything social. That's very key. But overall, he just has to like it's just important to like, for a chart like this, it's like it's very much speaking of like, like service, finding a career. Like he has Neptune on the midheaven, which is like seen in lots of in the 8th house too. So like something like psychology would be very appealing to him. Something where he's able to make a difference in the world, and then even the North Node in Pisces conjunct Uranus slightly, but Pallas more so. He definitely like can see the big picture of life, and Uranus in 9th house will give him like a rather like probably like a different view of religion and of truth, and like something like he'll probably not be the type to like want to go towards like an organized type of religion, but like it definitely, Uranus in 9th house does create people who want to break free from belief systems that are maybe imposed on them. And when I see the T-square, I'm thinking, okay, well, he needs to go, it's Scorpio is about death, rebirth, transformation. So there's gonna be parts of him from a karmic level, right, that are gonna need to die, that are gonna need to die. and he'll go through that process on an emotional level, and it's not easy. But being a Virgo and with a Taurus Moon and an ascendant in Cancer, I don't know if it gets much more like grounding than that in terms of like influences that can help something that's difficult like this, right? But there's so many of the indicators of like a high spiritual person, but like, you know, just like from where he might be at now at his age, you know, Mars in the 12th house in Gemini, cat hair in my mouth. Like there's basically like there's barriers that he has to get through to get to this high point. And this is one about self-sabotage. Mars in the 12th house is really about self-sabotage on a low level, escapism on a low level, repeating cycles of behavior where you're like, why the fuck did I do that? But then in Gemini, it gives someone a very, very good ability to speak their mind. Now, this might be more of a hidden ability, but he could be very good at writing and very good at communicating, and it's about finding that within himself. So expressing his emotions is key. And finding that ability to be an authentic male is so important for him, right? Because I see some of the potential dangers that come with like the talk. I don't like saying toxic masculinity, but you know, the pressures that come of having to be a male that's supposed to be a certain way, right? I see that. I see that all over. So yeah, I mean, like, and being having a moon ruled chart, it's, you know, like the lunar cycles, like it's a full moon now, like, you know, those will have a big impact on him, more than others. So, like really like getting in touch with his emotions is really important. And the earlier he can do that, the better off he'll be in life. And you know, even with back to like communicating, you know, like with the Mars and Gemini in 12th house, it's like the highest energy of that is through finding like I said, a creative outlet where that's linked. 12th house is a house of spirituality, right? If I was reading the chart right now of like a high spiritual person, I wouldn't be surprised. Because there's so many of the indicators. But yeah, like the 12th house Mars has to be careful, and it has a square with Uranus. So there even though he does have this earth energy, it can make him quite impulsive. You know, very, very rebellious, right? Mars and Uranus. So that speaks to another kind of outlet that's needed, which is the 1 second. Yeah. Which is the physical one. Right? There's a big need for a physical one. So yeah, he has that, and then so okay, let's see. Square, trine, Neptune, and Venus opposite Neptune, damn, and then okay, so yeah, every planet is afflicted. And you know, like there's a T-square actually between Sun, Uranus. You see, there's so many T-squares. Sun, Mars, and Uranus. So Sun opposite Uranus, right? And then Uranus square Mars and Mars square Sun. And that one shoots out into Sag, right next to his Jupiter in the 6th house. What does that mean? To have two T-squares, one that shoots out in the 5th, one in the 6th. Well, that's Leo and Virgo. That's 5th house and 6th house. That's like fun, creativity, inner child, being in touch with it. And then 6th house is being of service, which is where his Pluto is and his Jupiter. So there's very hectic energies in his chart. Remember, there's nothing good or bad in astrology. People who have charts that are difficult, it's because they're high. They're typically like advanced souls, or people who have decided that they want to take on a difficult karma. And I think what I'm getting at is that he has a lot of indicators of like, I think all these two huge T squares, right? Which I'll explain more in a minute, go completely relate to the North Node in Pisces, right? Because it's like, it's only through these, I hate to break it to you, like, it's not easy, like having two T squares at all. I mean, long term, it's very good. But integrating them is the hard part. So, but like the whole point, remember, the whole point of his chart, the whole point of his life, or the main goal is to, like, who knows how many past lives he's been in this back and forth of like not allowing himself to break into spirituality. So now that he has his Jupiter in Sag, ooh, and that's where the T square shoots out right at the Jupiter, so it creates almost a grand cross. It does create a grand cross. So actually, if it's a grand cross, there's no apex, right? Yeah. So a grand cross is an aspect pattern where there's and then yeah, Mars, yeah, like there's like, you see how Jupiter opposes Mars, Sun opposes Uranus, and then there's square, 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 square. It's an insane aspect. So we think, okay, what are the energies at play? Jupiter, so the Sun, who he is, right, conjunct the South Node, Jupiter, Mars, and Uranus. So Uranus, that part of it, hitting Mars and the Sun, is gonna make one very rebellious and make one more Aquarian than Virgo. Feel almost more like Aquarian in the sense of like wanting to be different, wanting to kind of like stand out and live a life that's not like the ordinary, which is what he's meant to do. And it also gives abundance of creativity. God, what an interesting chart. The risk with the Mars and Uranus, though, is impulsive actions, rash behavior. Like just super, super impulsive acts that even as a Taurus moon make him question, why the fuck did I do that? Right? And then having Neptune squaring the moon, you have to watch out for escapism, and try to find a healthy channel of escapism. A healthy channel of escapism, right? Because the Neptune energy can make someone check out and be like, I don't want to experience this reality. I want to experience my own dream reality. And I just find it very telling and very interesting that his North Node is in Pisces, and Neptune, which rules Pisces, obviously, is on his midheaven in Aquarius. So, and like, I just think that like his work, his career is going to be very, very linked to his mission, right? And in the 8th house, it could, it could be, I'm not going to say your kid's going to go through a bunch of pain like you may have gone through. I mean, I may have gone through, but whatever he's meant to go through, he's meant to go through for a reason. And I need you to know that. because he's got a big purpose, and there's a lot of energy, right? And it's very easy when there's a lot of energy like this to check out. So with the Sun and Uranus, it's similar. It's similar, right? It's like, and it can make someone really just want to, it can create someone who because of how, like, their need to escape, right? Their need to be different from the conservative kind of like view of reality. It can lead to arguments or situations with people who are more traditional, but a big rebellious streak. But the high energy of it is to be channeled into, like finding his own version of creativity, and his own version of truth. He's a truth seeker. And yeah, even with the Mars, it's like that's like someone who can like channel potentially, who can dive into the esoteric, and I just hope that these Earth, this Sun and Moon and Earth are the grounding force that I feel that they can be with all these other energies. He's a Virgo, but he's very a lot more than a Virgo. So back to what I was saying, the Sun, the Jupiter part isn't like, as wild. It's more, it speaks more to the potential to overdo things. I call it Superman syndrome, and especially with the Mars opposite Jupiter, like, that can just be all about thinking, like, just like taking too many risks, kind of, taking too many risks, and then having them backfire. So yeah, very very important to kind of like go back to that root groundedness. One second. Hold on. Okay. So yeah, we're seeing kind of how that's playing out in his chart. It'll take the fallout to really understand. But yeah, like even having like Pluto here, that's the ultimate, like, I'm here for the people. I'm here to give back. Jupiter is, in dignity in Sag and sixth house, which is very good for like his day to day, very good for health, right? But has to watch out for overworking. Pluto in the sixth house, you got to watch out for overworking, or else you can have like health issues. And perfectionism as a Virgo, as you know, has to be something that's understood. So yeah, like the Jupiter in Sag part, that's his inner teacher. That's the part of him who's the grand philosopher, right? And you've got Pallas or Vesta, I mean, which is like, as you can see here, it's about being committed to serving others through healing, working relentlessly for a cause you believe in. So I think that having that conjunct Jupiter will make him, you know, a potential visionary and a healer, and someone who maybe in his daily work is a teacher and some, you know, and very, very, very philosophical. And then even Mercury at 25, Virgo is, you know, great for intelligence. You know, it does have a square with Pluto, so that, you know, we have to remember that Mercury squaring Pluto can create kind of a nervous tendency. Sometimes like someone who can like rush into commitments before like considering the actions. So it goes further with the whole Mars thing we've talked about, right? And yeah, I just like the energy I'm getting, like impatience is very common with Uranus and Mars in that position. Combativity and kind of this tension can be created, right? So yeah, these things need to be worked through. And then with like the Sun and Uranus, you know, yeah, more it can definitely make someone just like rash and kind of like erratic. So yeah, like leaning into like the third house Sun is the area of communications, but really like he's trying to get to like the higher mind, moving from the lower mind to the higher mind, through inner child work and through being of service. You know, literally when your Mars in the 12th house, it's like you need to be of service, you know, at some point, and then that karma starts to get opened up, because like having Sun and Mars squaring each other can create like a very combative, headstrong person. So tons of risk taking in this chart. But then you have that nice Cancer rising, and that gives someone like a, you know, a very calm kind of like familial feel to them, you know. And it adds sensitivity, which he definitely has with his Moon squaring Neptune, and you know, having Neptune in the 8th house conjunct the midheaven on an angle, you know, he's really tuned into like universal energies. And I just think that like there's lots of healing that needs to be done before he really jumps into his life purpose. As a parent, I think, you know, having all the Virgo you do in your chart, you know, you're literally made to kind of be his guide in this journey. But like the work that you've done on your perfectionism, on your like lower vibe Virgo stuff that I talked about in your reading, is going to be very key for him to get past what his might be. But his is a lot different, is your understanding, right? So yeah, I think like you know, the thing about this chart is that like there's so many red aspects, so many hard like difficult aspects, but like there's still a lot of really, really good like helpful ones, right? So I do believe that he, you know, skipped out kind of on spirituality and faith in past lives, and kind of like stuck to the material, and this is kind of like the karma of this is how God, you know, I'm gonna say it because that's what I believe. I say God wanted, right? That's what the cosmos, God, whatever wanted, is for him to his soul, and that's what his soul wanted, was to incarnate with you as his mother, someone who, you know, is interested in spirituality and healing, and who can be his guide. You know, like I can literally bring this back to my mother, who's also a Virgo, like yourself. Like my mom isn't like, you know, like writing books, or like what's her name, Deepak Chopra, or like, you know, one of these people who has like, even, you know, like me, like who has like a platform of spirituality. But my mom was someone who studied who's an acupuncturist, and who had a, you know, after my parents got divorced, got really into spirituality and became a shamanic practitioner. And I was sitting on the sidelines observing, like still partying and going crazy, and not necessarily like not believing it, but I wasn't I realized now, only now, that it was planting seeds. But my mom was very like she she was very fearful when she was raising me, and probably rightfully so, because I did nearly die many times. But you know, I think of like the nights out where I want to stay out till 4 a.m. and she would like be like, you have to be back by curfew, and like freak out. And all I would do is I would just like, I would just sneak back out every single time, So it's like, what good did it really do? And this is kind of energy I get from your son, is that like, he's gonna do what he's gonna do anyways, So yeah, being a guide to what high Virgo energy is what's really important. And yeah, I mean, like Black Moon Lilith, and like his lower tendency is to be someone who can kind of take out his inner rage, like in a psychological way on people. I have this placement as well. And be selfish in a sense. Look at me kind of energy, right? That's like the lower kind of vibe, like Black Moon Lilith, the fifth house, Leo, fifth house, Scorpio, psychological manipulation, stuff like that. Just gotta watch out for, and also like putting curses on other people. Watch out for that, because they can be powerful. But yeah, like the whole South Node part, that speaks to it can lead to some, like, in this lifetime, thinking like, like entitlement, like thinking like, I deserve this, I deserve that. So yeah. But definitely he's a dreamer. So watch out for self-delusion. And so watch out for schemers, and also issues in love affairs. And like with his Venus and Leo, he's really gonna want a lot of love in relationships. He's gonna want a lot of love in relationships. He's gonna want to be very proud of his partner, and he'll be very sensitive as a Cancer rising, but also very moody. So like, and that goes with different parts of his chart, right? So with time, he becomes more strong, more self-assured. But yeah, like just the need to kind of like learn to ground himself, whether it's like learning meditation early or whatever it is, it's just important. But yeah, he'll be very analytical with that Mercury in Virgo. And yeah, just it'll give like lots of like intellectual abilities, which can make someone a very quick learner, quick talker, make school and work and whatever it is, like not as hard as it is for other people. It's a very good, even the degree, right? It's 25 degrees. What is that? That is Aquarius degree, right? 12, 24. No, it's not. It's Aries degree. Which is just as it is, it's direct. It adds a kind of directness to that. And his sun is 10 degrees, so that's a Capricorn degree. So, it's more boss energy added to it. So, I mean, but with the Venus retrograde, you got to watch out when, it's opposite Neptune. That's a really tough one, because he can really, really fall. Like Venus, he can be someone, he has to watch out for codependency, and disappointments in love, right? Like feeling victimized in relationships, lots of difficulties with making decisions around relationships, right? And being with all this Uranus energy, not really knowing, what road to take. And Venus retrograde, sometimes they can like literally base everything in their life on how good their relationships are doing, which is obviously problematic, very problematic. But yeah, there is like a real likability to Venus and Leo people, usually quite good for popularity, very affectionate, generous. But they do demand like this intensive devotion and loyalty back. So like acting, could be something. Like he could be really blessed with superb creative gifts. And it'll also make him really like the finer like possessions in life, especially the Taurus Moon, right? So yeah, but like really has to watch out for like that codependency and really find, like, it's all about finding that value within himself, like that moon with the moon squares, right? Yeah, tremendous creative potential. I love the Mars trine Neptune. That's nice. Very nice. And I just think that like it's more important than like maybe like I'm trying to think of all like the children's charts or teenagers / children's charts I've read, like finding that channel is so important for him. But there'll be some stubbornness is a Taurus moon, you know? So he won't, especially with all Uranus, he won't like to be told what to do. But he does have a destiny, and you know, Pluto being close to the descendant can create lots of like experiencing his own shadow, and that real death rebirth transformation can come in relationships, right? It can be in relationships that he experiences this energy that kind of pushes him to his depths and makes him go through the divine transformations he's meant to go through. But yeah, like Mars and Uranus, right? Like I said, it's super combative, super irritable, super impatient. So it's like there is a lot of a need for like a physical, like working out, doing sports, stuff like that. Very important. So yeah, and of course, like just being able to be in touch with all of the energy of humanity is such an asset. So that's brilliant. And back to my face. So yeah, and then like, you know, even with Chiron there, like in the 8th in Aquarius, just like learning to feel like secure within groups and friend groups is very important. Also there could be some like just being so sensitive to like the undercurrents, the painful undercurrents of the world, and that's what he needs to like learn about, is how do you handle that when you feel so much? How do you put it into words? How do you put it into something that's like that you can like create, you know? But I love, yeah, Neptune 8th house conjunct MC. It's just like really being able to like transcend daily life through metaphysical pursuits, sensing the emotional undercurrents, like really being kind of psychic. So, and it all goes back to that North Node in Pisces 9th house. So I was talking about traveling physically or metaphorically. The more like his worldview can be expanded, the better it is for him. And eventually he's trying to get to a point of Pisces, which is the last sign, the highest form of spirituality possible with Uranus, right? So this one will be a really interesting one. Very interesting one. Let's see here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, even Zosma conjunct his sun. That's very like a star in in Virgo. That's quite linked to like astrology and spirituality. So you know, could be something like that. I'm trying to look and see what this one is. But then his moon is conjunct Algol. Oof. So you see, but Algol, like people have like a bad view about Algol, right? It's like they always say it's like the worst. Um, you know, the worst fixed star in astrology, but you know that it's based on choice, right? It's based on his choice. So he has to be really careful. One sec. Yeah, just really careful with like avoiding accidents. And I told you about all that impulsive energy. It can be very ultra, like it can be like very like creative, but also very demonic. So it's all about like creating and destroying, right? But like sometimes it is that exact like destruction that leads to the transformation that's needed. And it's a degree away, so it's not stuck on there. So yeah. Difficult chart, honestly. I'm not gonna lie to you. I mean, the kid's got a lot of karma to deal with, and yeah, like Mars with Regel can make it can create someone who's very good at selling things. It can sometimes create like a ruthless kind of individual. Very like militant, tough. But it is a gift, right? Because like it gives one the gift of gab, you know, and the gift this real ability to just like to just yeah, the gift of gab, the ability to kind of have that energy power in that way, in that area of language and speaking all that. And it also causes like a lot of like energy flowing through the entire nervous system, like the thought patterns, just a very energetic like person, right? Who can sell anything to anyone and speak fast, very bright. People like listening to them. They have charisma. So super persuasive, right? So it's all about like, where does he want to put that? In what area of life does he want to put that? So super interesting. All right, let's see what's going on with what a chart. And even here's and wow, Industria, which I'm just learning about, is on his Venus. So that could be linked to second. Let's see. Yeah, it means you could find major success working in an industry involving beauty, music, or in an artistic field. So there you go. All right. Well, okay. So a lot there. Let's see, descendant. Nothing. No. Midheaven. Yeah. Fama, which is fame, is on the midheaven. So it could also be like music or something in the arts that you could be famous from. You never know. You never know. All right. Next, who was born was, and then just kind of looking at your chart, it's like Where is it? No, not this. You know, you don't have a lot of the same challenges. I mean, you do have your sun square Uranus, but like, you know, his like, you know, there like you do have Uranus hard aspects, right, to Venus and to the sun. So like that is an area you can definitely connect with him on. So whatever, however you know you experience that, just learning to like help him channel the high creative spiritual potential would be so important, and getting past perfectionism and being hard on himself, and really like if he's open-minded to like spirituality and even astrology, which is such a big ask. I'm not expecting that to be the case at this point, maybe later. You know, it could be so helpful. It just for if he was able to just like listen to that, to understand like, you know, like these aren't energies that are bad. Like you have a high meaning for being here. Yeah. Okay. I know how to pronounce this name. Is it Quiva? You know, it's spelled like that. I just know that because I know I have she's not a friend, but I went to college with a girl who had the same name. So, wow, lots of karma between Quiva and her son. Oh, cat hair. Got a moon conjunct his Saturn. That's interesting. Notice that right away. Let's share the screen again. You'll see the 0-degree Saturn. And wow, so interesting. So they have opposite nodes. Damn! You see why these fucking, excuse me, because I don't know if you, I doubt you'll show your kids, but it's just not gonna cuss anyways. But you see why these family readings are just pure magic. That's all they are. They're pure magic. Like they have opposite nodes. Like, you understand that? I'm like, do you understand that? Do you understand that? You're like, no, that's why I got this reading. Basically, who my fridge. It's like filled with broken glass. It just explodes bottles, which is awesome. Nuts. Oh my God. God. Literally, it's like a minefield in here. Just a mini fridge. It's not like my food. It's where I keep my drinks, glasses of bottled water. Something in there is just messed up. Should probably just buy a new one, honestly. But you know, that costs with our money. And we in Europe have a energy crisis, and I don't know what's gonna happen. I know that I have gotten only one new client this month. It's already like nearly a third through the month, which is pretty weird. And I kind of thought about that the other day. I was like, if the economy crashes in Europe, like a lot of my clients are European, or even just the global economy, like what's gonna happen to astrology? Like how am I gonna have clients if like they have to spend all their money on energy, you know? But whatever, that's God will do what he does, or what she, not gendering God, but whatever. So anyways, this is so interesting. This is beyond interesting. So you have here is your daughter's chart. Obviously, she's much younger. She's probably not probably. She is 6 years old. No, she's not. She's 5. She's nearly 6. But as she comes into her own, so now we're shifting away from like someone who's a teenager who where it's like the energies are happening, to someone where it's like, we don't know about this yet. This is new territory. So with this, like, just look at that. Like, her north node is what your first son, who I already can't remember his name, what his south node is. So like what he's trying to become is what she is naturally. Her south node is 6 Pisces. I think it's to the degree, isn't it? Literally, look at that. 6 and 6. So they have exact to the degree. If that's not karma, I don't know what is. And there's Saturn, that Saturn's conjunct her moon. Her moon is exactly conjunct to Saturn. So they have major karma. And basically their relationship's extremely important. Because like the best way to say it is like what comes really easy to her, which she's like a past life mystic and stuff. Like she's like a past life mystic. Just Sagittarius sun, conjunct Saturn, 8 degrees. So, it's not like super, super close, but still, it's very, very interesting. It's very, very interesting. And let me have a sip of this. Hold up. So hold on. So yeah, like basically like with her, she's trying to become someone who is who's more actually Virgo, just like you. So that's why you're her mother, because you're able to really like kind of put that put that like you're able to like your Virgo-ness is what she's trying to be. So she's someone who from a karmic perspective is such a dreamer. She's a dreamer. South Node. Look at that. This is 1,000%. I'm not even like saying like maybe or like kind of, like I'm saying 1,500,000,000%. She was a monk. She was something like that in a past life, like just a mystic. So you have a mystic daughter. Neptune conjunct South Node in Pisces. I mean, come on. It doesn't get more past life mystic than that. It just doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. And so it's close to Fomalhaut. Not that it matters, but still, like it's surreal. And it's in the 4th house of lineage. And her IC, like with, and it's interesting that both your kids have Venus on the IC so far. Let's see if all 3 do. Yes. Oh my God. You see that? Look at this. Venus IC. You see how crazy this shit is? Venus IC. And that's a coincidence. Venus IC. That means they all have a very pleasant childhood. That's fucking cool. No, I'm just gonna cuss. I can't not. I'm sorry. So yeah. So her mission is a lot different. Let's just say her mission is a lot different. And it's about learning how to be a human, for lack of a better way of saying it. She's trying to learn how to be more grounded, how to take her dreams, right? Because in past life, she's been 4th house, close to home. Maybe she's a creative genius. I don't know. You tell me. Perhaps she is. Perhaps she. But what I can say for sure, is I have cat hair in my mouth, is that the energy she has, was not, or had, excuse me, was not fully manifested. And in this life, with her moon conjunct her North Node in Virgo in the 10th house, with her midheaven 25 Leo, she's really meant to take all of that creativity that is so easy for her. She has the exact same Venus as me, and I'm like as creative as creative gets. And I'm just saying that because it's a freaking truth, and I know myself. I'm just telling you based on experience of living in my skin. I am many things. One thing I am not. One thing I am 1000% is extremely creative. And Venus is about creativity. So she's so creative. Oh my goodness. I'm just blown away by this. But by one, the Venus on the IC thing. But also just like this. So like for her goal karmically is to have the encouragement of her, her brother and her mother and her father, right? All earthlings. You guys are all earthlings. She's the alien. I mean that in the best way. These guys, oh, he's kind of, he might be kind of alien too. He's got all this Gemini energy and then this like cat moon conjunct Uranus, but I've seen that before. My brother has that, and Neptune. So I'm curious, like if he's been able, if the dad has been able to break out the toxic masculinity, and into like a more I don't know, but he's definitely smart. Definitely smart. Oh, but he's got Mercury retrograde. Interesting conjunct. Oh, is it Kazemi? Yeah, he's definitely fucking smart. He's got what I have. I'm like sounding so narcissistic. I'm like, I'm most creative. No, but he has wow. So this father has a Kazemi in Gemini, but the Mercury's retrograde. So he might be like a more quiet, like kind of low-key genius. Interesting. So interesting. But either way, she's trying to become an earthling. And you probably noticed this massive triangle. Let's see if there's any importance to it. Midheaven, Uranus, Grand Trine, Midheaven, Uranus, Sun. Wow. So yeah, like I see big things for her in her career. Big things. But the question for her is how can she move away from, I guess, like in like this tendency to be almost more introverted, more close to home, keep her like her crazy like level of talent. Like she might just like be really shy with it, Now she's incarnated as a Sagittarius, but she has, and rising double Sag, but she has Saturn there. So Saturn is going to make this, so she's going to be a lot more closed down until her Saturn return at 30, around 30, 29 and a half, if you want to be precise, Miss Virgo. So yeah, it's like, how can she open up that energy? Well, like she's meant to be kind of a star in some ways, right? Like there's some level of like she's meant to she's meant for bigger and better things. And she's incarnated in your family because in your family you guys have the whole earth thing down. You know, you guys have the earth in your charts and all that stuff is locked down. It's not like all like especially you especially you is a triple or quadruple, whatever it was, triple Virgo. Your pure existence is, and she's a Virgo moon, so it's like you guys have probably a really nice connection, right? When your sun connects to someone else's moon, it's instant, just like it's beautiful, right? And your moon's in Taurus, so then your moon also is in the same element as her moon, so that's also great too. So you guys probably will have a very, very good relationship. With that said, she definitely is going to have to break through the Saturn, or like the Saturn, on the ascendant, even like the ascendant Sagittarius, right? And her sun is on the galactic center. I mean, come on, how freaking spiritual can of like an alien, like out of this world human can someone be, right? But and the Saturn is more on the ascendant, right? It's 4 degrees from the ascendant. It's 8 from the sun. So there is some separation there. However, it's not easy. And it's not easy. And I'm staring into something really. Give me a second. I have moments like this where I just need to just sit with something. I think her father can help her a lot. A lot of his Gemini falls into her 7th house, so like he can help her a lot, like when it comes to like relationships. Later in life, maybe they even form some kind of like some kind of like partnership, like where they're like working together in some type of way. Who knows? Yeah, like I just keep looking at this and thinking like, the like how like I'm thinking like how it's okay. So being the Sag rising, there's that feeling of like life is like a grand adventure, right? Everything is possible. But then having Saturn there, it kind of pushes that away in a sense, and it makes one more like Capricornian in their approach, right? So, and it can really make someone quite shy. And when I'm telling you that her big purpose, or a lot of her purpose, is about like learning to express her gifts, right? Learning to express those past life gifts, it's not easy to have Saturn on your ascendant. But this is where it gets interesting. The very fact that her North Node is in Virgo and that Saturn is rising will make it so like that she's kind of brought back down to earth. in a sense, right? She'll be very responsible, cautious, but also, you know, Saturn there will create, it can create issues with self-esteem and what just happened? Okay. I'm gonna stop the share for a second. Anyways, yeah, it can create issues with self-esteem, and yeah, like overall, it will take her time to really be able to feel like she can unlock herself. But you know, regardless of that, her sun is still in the first house in Sagittarius, and you know, Jupiter rules her chart, which is in which, you know, on its own, it makes her very expansive, very optimistic. It's in Libra in the 11th house, so that'll be very good for popularity, very good for she'll be very lucky when it comes to making friends, you know? Like and it's good for wealth too. And it's good for really really like when she figures out what her like highest aspiration is, it's like very good for like meeting the right people that kind of like bring her to that, if that makes sense. That like kind of help her get to that position. But yeah, that Jupiter in Libra is interesting. Ruling her chart, Sun and Ascendant ruling it. Because it's going to make her very concerned with justice. So she might be someone that really, you know, channels a lot of that energy into like a field that is concerned with justice, of caring for the world, caring for the environment or the animals or the people, you know, things of that nature. And after that, you know, in the 11th house, like, yeah, it's just like goals and visions are very important for her and finding meaning, which she can inspire large groups of people, and it's connected to that whole career energy, you know. Black Lilith and Scorpio in the 12th. It's interesting that, yeah, wow. Yeah, it's interesting they both have it there. So they both have it in Scorpio so far. So it's like past life witch, obviously, you know. But she has to watch out for being her own worst enemy. And like I wonder if all three of them have Black Lilith and Scorpio. That'd be another crazy thing. I know he has an Aquarius. But yeah, I mean, she just has to kind of watch out for like the same thing, like kind of like that escapist tendency, you know, that could be something that runs in the family, of like of not facing reality, right? Of not facing reality, and yeah, sort of running away from it in a sense. Does that make sense? So yeah, it's important for her to lean into, you know, this energy, this South Node energy, this gift of having this like mystical and creative, very very creative. Also, like I said, with the you know, Venus in Aquarius, 12th degrees. It's like the Pisces degree. I told you it's the exact same degree I have. So she'll be very like, she'll have like a mind that's just like she'll be very like also like specific, and especially when it comes to relationships and love, you know, later on. And then she's got that Mercury conjunct Pluto. Damn. So I see that with both of them so far. They both have Venus Pluto. So very intense. You have two very intense communicators and probing, deep communicators. One sec. Shivaj. Yeah. I'm doing reading. Thanks. Let Fetix out. Come a fost? Ai beat? Ai beat? Ai beat? Da. Da. Ai băut. Ce? Cât? Și 3. De ce nu Azteca? Vorbește în română. Ia în pula. Da. Nu. Azteca e mai mișto. E groaznic. Da. Da, e pula. Da. Mersi, colegul. Sunt pe Canada. Nu. Nu. Okay. That was my Romanian conversation. So close the door. Romanian conversation. Let Mika out. Actually, okay. I need to close something. I hope you enjoyed that. Okay, so I feel like I actually kind of needed that little break. That's a break, a conversation. And now Esme is awake, so maybe she'll come over and join us for this part of the reading, my little psychic, because she also has galactic center on her moon. So, you know, if you can see Esme, the famous Esme who won the big contest I had. I'll have another one soon. So Esme is, she has a galactic center moon, and your daughter has a galactic center sun. And if you can look at Esme, she also is very Neptunian. So she's very much like your daughter astrologically. And you have to really care for people like this, right? You really have, like, even though she's a fire sign, which will be, very nice. She'll be very sensitive, she'll be very sensitive, and you really have to watch out with Virgo moons for anxiety disorders. So it's really important who she hangs out with, how her energy, is used is very important. Especially it's like a 0-degree moon, so it's like there can be a little bit of naivete in that. Let's go back to the charts. Let's see if Esme has anything else to say. Esme? Here, we'll give it, see what she says. I know all Virgos love cats, so. Little cat interlude. Wish my camera could focus better on her eyes. Esme, stare at your beautiful little face. Yeah, like that. Make a sign for the reading. Do something magical, Esme. Oh, you see? Okay, so she said get back. I kind of am developing psychic abilities with Esme. I'm working on it. And that was kind of like her saying get back to work. You can tell by her face. So, but I can only do it with Mika and Esme. FedEx doesn't give me any leeway. Is that right, Esme? Is that what you're saying? Okay, so let's go back to share actually. So this is very interesting. Very, very interesting so far. So definitely like where's the sting? Okay. Yeah, so as you can see, this block is way less congested than the first sun. So the first sun has taken on a lot of karma. Perhaps he will make mistakes in his life, like I did as the well, I only have one brother, but my brother got to see me make mistakes, and then he didn't make the same mistakes. And the first one is the trailblazer. I don't know if the firstborn takes on a higher karma per se than I don't know the answer to that. But in this case, it seems as though that might be the case. Now, her job is to so what's interesting is that your first son, and I don't want to butcher his name too, because I know it's not pronounced Kian. But basically, I'm gonna call. I need to look it up. Irish name. So how's it pronounced? Kian. Kian, like Keanu. Kian is pronounced Kian or Keen. 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 So Keen. Yeah, Keen. So it's Keen. Keen. I like that name. It sounds awesome. Keen. Keen. Okay, Keen. Let's see if he replied. No, because you live in Australia. One sec. So yeah. Anyways, like so her as a Sagittarius, like they're really teaching each other, because she like being a Sag, his North Node's in the ninth house. So like they have all kinds of stuff where it's like by them having like a good relationship and like being around each other, like they're two very different types of people, right? But they do both have Earth moons. So that's going to be very, very good for their relationship. Like if your moon's in the same element as someone else, like um it's just good. There's like a kind of understanding of sorts. So that's important. But like yeah, like basically like he has so much from a synastry level. And they'll definitely have like a long enduring relationship, very, very karmic with the Saturn and Moon. But him being the Saturn person, like he's really here to kind of help guide her in certain ways, and then she's here to help guide him. It's very reciprocal, very reciprocal, in that sense, which is cool. Um, but she's really trying to like open up that Sagittarian door, open up that expansiveness, and so working on herself on her self-esteem is very important. She's ultra sensitive, so like if she can tap into her past life creative ability. She also has a 29-degree Mars in Aquarius, so I have Mars in Aquarius also, so I'm quite familiar with her chart, and I'm a Sag Moon, she's a Sag, yeah, so like she could feel. I'm not going to project or anything like that, don't worry, but I'm just going to speak openly about what I see. um she could feel kind of misunderstood in a sense. There's that potential. um hmm, 1 second. I must actually scratch my head. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, basically, like, I can see creative genius on this chart. She's, 29 degrees, very, very like, she's kind of like finishing. She's really trying to like she is her own person. In relationships, she'll need tons of space. Um, she'll need someone who's very, very solid, like later on. But she'll need tons of space, and she'll because like a big part of her life is about her expanding herself. Like that was held back in a past life in some way, right? Her being able to really like you know be that star midheaven in Leo, like to really like individualize, excuse me. So it's important for her to have that platform in this lifetime, and to not to not fall into like delusions, escapism, to where she's just like in her own imaginary world, or like, and if she does get really, really good at something, like it's important for her to try to make something of it, to try to make something of it, in the more make some in the more material world, right? Hmm. Yeah. Okay. So I think like she could be someone who makes a lot of money. Um, I think she'll have no trouble in school, whatever her passion is, whatever she wants to study, um, whatever she wants to do as a profession. Like this Mercury and Pluto is like an exact conjunction. It's like, Pluto is like, okay, so on one level, it will make her very aware. Like she'll have a very intense kind of way of thinking, but she'll be a very deep, deep thinker. And Pluto is about the darkness. It's about death, rebirth, transformation. So her mind, her mental facilities will go through that in some type of way, right? So Mercury in Capricorn creates someone who is very logical and who can think and who can create steps of how am I going to achieve this, and then have staying power. And usually they want logic, right? They want logic, which is very nice like for her chart, because she's trying to become more like that. She's trying to become more of a human. Um, right. So back to the first house, and then I think I'm gonna do this a little bit different. I'm gonna go house to house after kind of explain this. So with Juno there, on the ascendant, that's gonna make her very, very beautiful. Very, very kind of goddessy, like in her looks and her appearance and her vibe will be very, very like Hera. Just like I don't want to say, no, what's the word I'm looking for? I can't think of the word. It's just very like, kind of Venusian, like very, very like relaxed, and sensual is a weird word as a freaking kid. And I feel like that you get what I'm trying to say. I'm just trying to put the energy, like a very just like I just think of like divine beauty. That's better. Divine beauty. Um, some water. Mm-hmm. So she'll also like, yeah. So with the so it's important also for her to travel. So that's two kids in a row where it's important for them both to see different to see different cultures, right? And she'll have a powerful drive to do that in a way. Um, right? She'll have a very powerful drive to go out in the world and to want to explore and see different cultures and grow her understanding of truth. And being Sun conjunct Galactic Center, she'll have this natural pull towards spirituality. And South Node conjunct Neptune in Pisces, it's like it's there, which is why like your older son he needs her, he really, really needs that relationship. Um, just that natural way of her being, that compassion, that empathy, that Piscean, like just oneness that comes naturally to her will be so healing for him. So they really have a deep karmic connection. There's a very clear reason why, they're siblings. And yeah, like 27 degrees sun, that's, Sagittarian degrees. So it's like about integrating the higher with the lower mind. And, being in a position where you're able to really just go like for her, it's really about finding herself in independence, and not being stuck to the home life, the classical home life, and moving towards like a career, which is, Mercury led, which, Mercury ruling her, oh, it's her north node, being conjunct Pluto, it would, also with that conjunction, sometimes people have to really get past a lot of like internal darkness, a lot of internal um like cynicism and stuff like that. But because of that process, they're able to really see and truly understand humanity in other people and the psychology of other people. So that's why it's a very strong one. And it's in the second house. So it's like she might have like this obsession because like Pluto in the second house, people like they are obsessed with making money a lot of the times, right? For lack of a better term. So yeah, it's like hmm, 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 hmm. Yeah, I just think that it's important for her to like through that process to be supported whenever it comes. Um and I think with her, your odds of like being able to like help her dive into spirituality and the arts and her openness to that, because she has so much, of that energy, that Sag, that Aqua, like she's a complete freedom seeker. She's a complete freedom seeker. So she'll need so much space, very sensitive. And yeah, but yeah, like people with Pluto in second house, they in past lives they were like on survival mode. So a lot of them, they come in this lifetime, and especially with North Node in Virgo, which she is supposed to make money. Like she is supposed to want success in this realm, right? She's meant like, and if it's not that, it's being of service. Like, and if it's not like I'm not saying like she needs to make money. That's what her karma is. It's like Virgo North Node. It's like in conjunct the moon, it's like she needs like Virgo is about being of service. So it's more that than what I was saying before, right? So she needs to really feel like what she's doing is giving back. Um and that she's taking all these gifts from the past life, even the Chiron, and like she could be a spiritual healer, legitimately. That helps people heal their emotions and their childhood wounds through her skills. So, and because she has this, like, well, I don't want to get too far, so I'll go house by house. But yeah, I'll just say anyways. But because of that, the Aquarius energy, she won't be so concerned with the status quo. She'll be very open. And both your kids so far, I see as being people who are cool with being different, which is awesome. Awesome. So that's beautiful to see. And hmm. Esme, bring the ball over here if you want me to throw it for you. Bring it here, Esme. So, tricky things here I'm looking at. Yeah, I just think that like, just watch out for both of them, workaholism and perfectionism. Virgo Moon can be very anxious, and it can expect, it's like it can have such high expectations for itself that when it doesn't, as you know, as a Virgo, so like your duty already is to teach both of these kids what high and low Virgo is, and maybe it's not, not necessarily using the language of astrology, but teaching them about what it is, And yeah, so like, and Mercury in second house is very good for like just you know being able to like come up, like just, it's just good for money. It's just good for me able to come up with no, thank you. There you go, Esme. You see, she listens to me. She bought me her little toy. All right, you're not on camera, I guess. I'm not on camera. So it's very good for lots of things. Yeah, so that shouldn't be a problem. But like, yeah, these two together gives like an ability to really just communicate to the masses, like communicate like a message that's very powerful and speak with conviction. Um, and then they square Jupiter and Uranus, so that can make someone very, almost like, promise too much. She has to watch out for like over promising, over yeah, over promising different things. And um with Uranus, it's more about, and it's a T square that shoots out in Cancer in the 8th. So yeah, that could be the source of her healing, is that T square, because like the Uranus square, Mercury can make someone feel very misunderstood, and like it's almost like they're operating on a level that's so much higher than the people around them, like especially with all her energy in Aquarius already. It makes someone very opinionated and sometimes tactless, and they can like waste energy sometimes. And integrated, as you know, I always talk about Mercury Uranus being like a genius place, but like it's like a misunderstood genius, especially with all the Aquarius. So it's very important for her with that Jupiter in 11th house to have that luck come with meeting the right friends that truly understand her for who she is, and how amazing she is. But I wouldn't call this a hard chart. And any squares to the nodes, nope. Good girl. You see, now I told Esme, she literally speaks English now. Or like, she's finally acknowledging. She's bringing me her toy. I'm throwing it. I said, bring it right here. She brings it right here now. So yeah, like, definitely watch out for this. But just know this part. So moving on to the third house, yeah, like we'll get into this more, but like this is just pure genius. I like communication, like the way she like something with she could be like a writer, like a singer, like something to do with like with communicating and talking. Her mind is special. And it's really important that you help her find what that outlet is. Maybe she finds it herself. Now, interestingly for her is that Mars is close to IC here. So that would speak to like actually like a more like less of a nice childhood. Even though the Venus is there, Mars is closer. So that on the IC, that can speak to like a more like disruptive, like so like different kids experience, she's very sensitive, experience things differently, right? So and I yeah, so like she might have experience kind of a not like a difficult childhood, but like a childhood that is combative in some type of way. It's 4 degrees. And then you see Palace in the third. Oh, not third. It'd be close to the IC. It's just what I'm saying. Your mind can be brilliant, original, insightful. You're able to quickly grasp new ideas and apply them to the future. You fight for your ideals in humanitarian or political causes, and just adds to, like the communication skills I've been talking about. It's amazing. So and then also this one would be on Vega, the Mercury and Vega. So that is, we'll talk about that after. So then yeah, South Node, I've talked about this already. This fourth house, just get out, like just a need to get out, to metaphorically get out of the house, take the skills that you've like gained and gained and gained in past lives that you haven't manifested in the public life, and take them in the public life. And then I talked about this Chiron already, the ability to heal people their spiritual, emotional wounds. So then we look at Uranus. And actually, I need to see quickly. Yeah, Venus trine Jupiter, one of the best aspects in astrology. Like just like these two houses, friendships, like goals, and then like communication is even more. Her creativity is even more gifted with this Jupiter trying her Venus, and that's even better for popularity and just overall just such. It's a really 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 good karmic aspect to have. It gives tons of luck, luck and money, and luck and love, and beauty, and all these different things. Like just such a good one. So supportive. Like just things just happen for her. I feel a very rosy energy around this. So yeah, Uranus in the fifth, ruled by Aries. Yeah, basically like that just speaks more to her like very eccentric type of creativity, right? Mars and Aquarius people, like it's like they're very very fueled by humanitarianism and helping out the world. Like I have that, right? So it's like, but also it creates geniuses, right? It does create very unconventional types of thinkers who are off. Like what I'm saying is that she might be so ahead of people but misunderstood, and that might lead to Virgo Moon kind of that wants to fit in also to like anxiety. So you have to watch that. She could have like eccentric hobbies, eccentric like interests. Like I have my Uranus there in the Placidus, and I'm like super into like astrology and electronic music. So, but very individualistic. Like she won't be the type of person that's led by the crowd. I see her being very independent. Um, okay. So yeah, and most of the planets are down here. So it's a very like, even though like the North Node, she's trying to get to this kind of higher, more public place, a lot of the main things are happening within herself so that she can manifest that moon, conjunct midheaven, conjunct North Node. So yeah, with love, she'll like I said, she'll need tons of space. She'll be like the thing that's most attracted to her will be the intellect of the individual. And yeah, what else can I say? Like, that's what it will be. So yeah. And then I like to click on these because, like, Vesta in the ninth house in Leo, Vesta ninth house is all about, um it's a keeper of the flame, right? So it speaks about, as you see, tradition, dedication, service. um I like reading what they write. I never read this before. Yeah, so it's the flame that lights all. And yeah, in the ninth in Leo, it's like, and your son, firstborn, had that too. Focus on discovering higher truths in life. On the way, you may be sidetracked by one or two financial belief systems. Fanatical, excuse me, not financial belief systems. However, in the end, you will be committed to sharing your philosophical truth with the world. You work in Leo. You work most creatively when left to your own devices. You feel pride in your work and can be inspired by romance and fun. Play and work are closely linked to you. Yeah, so like she likes to, like, and that goes to her midheaven in Leo, right? Like she wants to, it's on the 25-degree mark, which is a very kind of difficult part. I'll go back to my face as I wrap up this section. 25-degree Leo is a different, it's a difficult degree. It can be about violence. Although, like, 15 degrees is more difficult. Um, but it's not a planet, which is good, right? It's not a planet. But it's close to Alphard, which can make someone, like, lack control, unethical, stuff like that. But let's see. I need to add that to my list, actually. Hold on 1 second. One moment. Where is it? Oh, Alphard with a P. I see. No, it's not showing you. Maybe there's a different name. I just need to see how close it is, so I need to add it to my thing. Alphard, like when she was born. Okay, so it says it's at 27 Leo, so that would make it further. So let's see what she has. Yeah, there's nothing really there. It has a 2 orb. So it says improved health, fame by help of superiors. But I need to find this. I need it. Let's see why it wouldn't be on my list of every freaking star. Oh God, where is? Nothing worse than when you pay a lot of money for something and doesn't actually give you everything that it should be giving you. Oh, I see it. I found it. They spelled it wrong. There. Save. Okay, now let's see if it shows up close to her midheaven or not. I trust this over anything I find online. Okay, yeah. So it's far enough to not affect that much. It's within like the very basic orb. So yeah. But yeah, really like she's really meant to be a star. She's really meant to like shine, and a lot of that shining comes through that Sagittarian exploring. And then let me actually remove these. I don't think I'm even sharing the screen right now, am I? Yeah, I talked about the Virgo Moon. What else can I? I mean, I can say a lot, but you get it. Like Virgo Moon, it's difficult in a lot of ways, and there's like a strong link between the emotions and the body, right? And there's that internal need for perfection. Like you feel it like externally, like as a Virgo, but that internally it's more difficult because it's hard to get a grasp on it. And so you have to really watch out because the moon is the mother of being too critical of her, And you definitely like are here to help her learn about structure and order and all these things, but just know that she's a 0 degree, remember, because this is new energy to her, Virgo energy. So she's not familiar with it. She's familiar with Pisces. So yeah, like go easy on her when it comes to like goals, and she might have very, very my camera's disappeared. Am I frozen? Where am I? Okay, can I still share the screen? Okay, at least I can do this. So yeah, she's new to the energy, and it's raw. So definitely meant to achieve in those areas, and whatever career she chooses. And I think with the Leo, it could definitely be linked to an area where she can be her own boss and she can kind of shine her own way. Next in Mercury ruling the moon and like that second house connecting, it's important for her to find a value system that she can subscribe to, that legitimately like that's all she needs. You know what I mean? Like a value system that she can subscribe to that makes it so she doesn't so all her decisions. I just put my key back in. Stop share. Start camera. Okay. So yeah, so all her decisions like kind of make sense based off of that. That value system is very, very important for her. And yeah, and then just moving towards like her moon connected to the north node, like, you know, just like moving towards the high purity, like literally just taking, like it's being of service, but like not being perfectionist, being high Virgo, which I talked about so many times, I'm sure in your reading. And then the Jupiter in the 11th, I talked about that already. Popularity, great with friends, great for goals, great for all that. And then Black and Lilith, I talked about that. How she like they both have it, so like they have to watch out for like letting things boil up psychologically and then just boom throwing them on other people. And just knowing that like how much, especially with her Mercury conjunct Pluto, how much her words can affect other people. And then watching also for escapist tendencies. Okay. Yeah. So and Mars is not far from her south node. It's a different sign though, so I'm not gonna count it. And okay. So yeah, with love, big need for space, big need for someone who's very, very reliable. And also who, you know, her descendant in Gemini, where there's like a real meeting of minds, a shared philosophy with the Juno in there, and someone who gives her space to be her own person. Let's open this up. If it will. Okay, so let's see if I have anything. So yeah, I already said galactic center on the sun is just, you know, making someone very, very spiritual, and you know, it's literally like, 1 second. So yeah, it's just about, it's indicating like lots of like spiritual awareness that arrives suddenly. She can receive downloads, awakenings, like, so it'll be activated by transit at some point. And yeah, I mean, it's very, very interesting. 1 second. Okay, so yeah, and then look close. Type of Juno rising, midheaven, anything? Yeah, we already talked about that. Moon. Her moon is like conjunct Regulus, even though yeah, because Regulus has moved into Virgo. So which feels so weird. Yeah, her moon is conjunct Regulus. It's one of the most fortunate stars. I have it rising, as I've talked about a million fucking times. But moon, it gives like occult interests, powerful friends, danger from enemies and false friends, gain by speculation, public prominence, great power, honor, wealth, benefits seldom last. It makes women high spirited and independent. Yeah, so really, really, really nice. Then the descendant is 2 degrees away from Virgo. But she could be very lucky with, you know, who she marries. She could marry someone who has a lot of money, not in a gold digger way, but just karmically. Then Ceres in the 5th house in Aries. So Ceres is very, it's kind of like a mothering, like a second moon, like what you need to feel nurtured. It's kind of like a mini second moon. So in the 5th house in Aries, it's like she feels cared for when she's allowed to be independent, right? When she's allowed to kind of like go her own way. And she'll really suffer if she feels dominated or caged in, as I've said before, with the Aquarius energy. And the 5th house, it's like the ways in which she can look after herself are based on her like creativity and artistic and fun inner child, which is, you know, like not gonna be difficult. And people will be attracted to her playfulness. And part of fortune, you know, that's also in Aries too. So in the 5th house, so that's really like when she's like flowing, she's like at her best is when she's being creative, inspiring beauty through creativity, developing friendships, and just really on that like self-propelled, independent Aries forward moving path where she's using her willpower to achieve her goals. Interesting. So then she has Lilith the asteroid on her Venus, which is really Lilith the asteroid is more about like I don't want to say like feminist, but it's like the female who does not take shit. That kind of boss female energy, right? So that will make her like that, you know, in love and it could add like kind of a darkness to her like creativity, to her creative sense. Interesting stuff. And then, as I mentioned before, Vega is, you know, on the Pluto and the Mercury. It's a little bit closer to the Pluto, but you know, Vega is an interesting fixed star. That really depends on the planet. It's usually like quite, you know, hopeful, changeable, usually beneficial. They can be very sobering too, as well, and it's like, you know, it's usually quite good. But let's see. So let's look at Mercury if you can find anything. Suspicious, reserved, bitter, thwarted ambitions, trouble with mother, it says. So, yeah, loss in business potentially. But then with Pluto there, it doesn't say anything. Doesn't give me any information, which is not that rare. Okay, so that is pretty much that. Yeah, so like, and then Serpentis conjunct Black with Lilith. I mean, I don't know, like, just, you know, there's an ability for that dark side of Scorpio, the Scorpio darkness, to really come out. So she's got to watch that. I always forget if I'm sharing my face or if I'm sharing the screen. I take my battery out a little bit. Okay, corner. What's going on with corner? I can never do a fucking Irish accent. I love Irish accent though. I love how, yeah, I love Ireland in general. I always loved Ireland. Always. Have I been? No. But will I go? Yes. I can't believe I haven't been to Ireland. That's so weird of me. I've been to so many places. I haven't been to Ireland. The fuck? Um, okay, quick scan. So you see how connected the first two are. Let's see how Mr. Newborn kind of, he's the young one born on the 1st of January. Ooh. Okay, I see a very I have to like be careful when I say what I was about to say, where I'm like, oh, I don't see that many aspects. Literally like none. Your first son, it's like every fucking aspect, and then Connor, it's just like, but then we don't know. We have to look at things. I've said that before in the past, and I've been like, oh shit. And I already see these in Scorpio moon. So it's like, usually when there's like a lack of hard aspects, it's like it's made up for in other ways. Let's just say that. But we'll see. So right off the bat, he's a Capricorn, conjunct Saturn, and Pluto lightly with South Node in Capricorn. If you can remember, in Keen's chart, he had something similar, but in Virgo, where his sun in Virgo was also in the same sign as his South Node. So Connor, right off the bat, has a similar and karma as his older brother. Very, very, very interesting. I'll share the screen for you to see this. I know I already freaking. What's wrong with my camera? At least you can hear me. Whew. Like, what the heck? Why is it doing this? Why is it doing this to me? Okay. So yeah, basically, with Connor, we have someone who is very comfortable when it comes to all things Capricorn. Having his sun in Capricorn conjunct Saturn, he's a boss. It doesn't even come hard to him. Like, he's just a boss. That's just how it is. And oh my god, why is my freaking camera making all these sounds? So he just has that kind of vibe to him. One second, I need to try my camera. Okay, now I can hit present. Okay. It's like it's still Mercury retrograde. Now you see right away lack of air, right? So already Connor with lacking air, he's gonna have to really especially the Scorpio moon, he's gonna have to learn to see things through other people's perspective, right? He's got a ton of fire. He's a Leo rising at 0 degrees. Interesting. And he's got a 0 degree. Wow. So he's 0 degree fire. He's got a 0 degree trine. I've never seen that. Of his Mars in Aries in his Leo rising. And he's trying to become more Cancerian in the 12th house Pisces. So he's also on this spiritual quest like his older brother. So they both have this like tendency to be more like boss, like material world, all that stuff. And it's not that, and they're still probably both going to have that, but it's about how they can tap into this new reality, how they can tap into being different, to healing, if you will. So, him, it's a lot. It's his moon sign. It's like literally he's got his moon in Scorpio. So as you know, moon in Scorpio, it's intense. It's intense, and it just creates an energy where especially for males. Like, and I wrote you probably saw my article about Moon Scorpio, and just like it's probably why you bought this reading. Honestly, like you probably saw me write about the importance of men with that Scorpio Moon to to express their emotions and all that. And they both have this, right? It's in both charts. So, where do I start? Basically, Scorpio moons are very in touch with the more difficult parts of reality. They're very moody. It's very difficult in lots of ways. And they require, I guess you could say, what they require is like the need to express themselves in a way that is very authentic. No secrets, no repression, just pure this is how it is. They need to feel, and it's difficult for them to feel like they can truly express that, you know? So that's kind of like the big thing there is how is one able to express that? How is a male in today's society able to dive into that feminine side, dive into that more difficult that feminine side. Well, how else can I say it? And hmm, 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 hmm. So it's fourth house also. So it's like he will be naturally from his birth. This is a difficult chart. So remember how I said that thing I said about like how like, oh, there's not many hard aspects. Well, guess what? He's a Capricorn sun, which isn't bad. That's a strong sun placement. It's very masculine, very, very responsible, very honorable at its highest. At its lowest, it's very it can be cold, arrogant in some senses. One second, I have to answer a message. Wait, what just happened? Why did I just switch without me even touching my computer? Hold on. Here, I need to send a voice message really quickly. Hold on. Sorry about that. You're getting like the whole behind the scenes look at my life. Yeah, hold on one other second. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on just a minute, just a minute, just a minute. Important messages, message I have to reply to now. Oh. Okay. Sorry. Sorry. Everything's answered. Okay. Go away, phone. Okay. So, nice little interlude, too. Even though I already started this reading. So, okay. So, he's the Leo rising, 0 degrees. Mars in Aries, 0 degrees. He has a capstone with Scorpion Moon. So, okay. Okay. This is the thing with Connor. Connor, you have to watch out for him being overly serious. Overly, like, in the material world. And I could see this. So this is what's really interesting is that part of his chart, 6th house is Virgo. So he's so earthy, right? And then he has so much fire. So he has this, like, he's going to be majorly successful. All three, I see success in all three of their charts, to be honest. But with him, it's like, man, it's like, damn, like they are a lot, like fire and earth together. What does that create? It creates the fire that can keep on burning. So, literally, think about it. So, I just think that it's important for him to, it's important for him to learn to take a load off, for him to learn, how to tap into that 5th house Jupiter, right? That inner child. Because with Capricorn people, what might happen, even though he has, the icy Venus, icy Moon, he'll be very connected to his childhood. And he's got to watch out for being overly structured, overly, what's the word, like just yeah, like just like too too stuck in his ways, because like I know someone who has like a ton of Scorpio and ton of Capricorn, actually multiple people, and they're very like they're like this one guy I know. It's like he's like, I don't think I've ever seen him laugh. I've never seen him express humor. Now I think he also might have be on like the spectrum, and he's an older guy. Used to be in my group. Didn't really work out. I really was like, I don't want to kick him out because he's like a nice guy, and like somehow God just like came through and was like, he just like left organically because he couldn't like afford the $10 payment, which I don't charge anymore. But yeah, like anyways, so he is an example of like how like when these two energies, when there's a lot of them, and there's fire too, right? But there's a lack of air, and then there is water though. Like there's a big need to find fun. Like I don't know how it's better to say it, to find fun. And yeah, like he'll be extremely responsible. That will be the last issue. He'll be a great student. You know, in fact, he might be the best student. But the thing is, the Scorpio moon will bring him to that death rebirth transformation, and will make things like that very solid side, right? Because look, he has close to a sextile between Sun and Moon. The Moon does sextile, you know, Pluto, so he will definitely be serious. But like the Scorpio Moon people, they go through the death rebirth transformation. They go through that period of dark night of the soul quite early, and yeah, there's a reason to it, because he's trying to get to 12th house Cancer, which is about diving into his emotions. In past lives, he's been just like your first son, too much in the material world, too much in the Capricorn, you know, like kind of patriarchal realm, you know? Yeah, and he was born recently. So what's interesting now is that Pluto, which started, he was born when Pluto was you know, at 20, it's so recent, was at 20 Cap. Now Pluto is like right on its south node. So, but he's so young, like whatever. But basically, like, you know, his life purpose is around kind of overcoming a lot of the pride that comes from these, and a lot of like the over analysis that can come from this, and cynicism. Like sometimes people with the Scorpio moon, men, they can just they can be very so stubborn and very negative, and also Capricorns too. So, you know, I don't see that in his chart. Like, you know, he'll be of great aid to Quiba, if I think I'm pronouncing that right? But you know, because she needs that grounding, he's gonna be exactly that. But she will help him. She's like a blessing. Um, but I mean, they're blessings to her too. So they're all really helping each other, which is very synchronistic why you got this family reading, because I don't believe that all families are on that kind of same wavelength, in my honest opinion. Like in terms of like how close they're supposed to be and all kinds of things. So yeah, like but yeah, basically he will be very in touch with kind of the darker sides of reality. He'll be very in touch with it. And from a young age. And moody, lots of ups and downs, very intense ups and downs. And it's just about being there for him and being that mother that can ground him during those times. That's it. Just sitting and listening to him and encouraging him as a mother to express everything. Finding, once again, just like you see, there's so many similarities between both of these two sons. Finding that way in which he can truly express that truth. Very important. Finding a way in which he can truly express his depths in the more dark emotions that tend to hang around, if you catch my drift. And by doing that, he enters a phase where it's less difficult, right? It can become the greatest mystic ever, and this is flooding into his love life, right? Venus in in Scorpio, which is trining Mars, so basically like he has to watch out for like being like overly obsessive in love, things of that nature. And like his love style will be extremely, in words Juno, he'll need it'll be very intense, and he'll need a partner that can really handle him in all of his moods and who can like he'll like probably require like kind of Taurusy energy, right? Juno and Taurus. So yeah, like the whole outlet thing is very, very prominent there. Very prominent. And it is conjunct Serpentis. I'll get into that later. But yeah, like Leo risings, they come in this life. It's a new energy for him. There's a real creative purpose for him, right? And by the way, he's a 0-degree ascendant, so his chart will not really change from whole sign of Placidus, which is important to know. I know I'm pausing, but like when I'm pausing, I'm like kind of closing my eyes and feeling into things. Okay. So, yeah, for him, like one of the great escapes is this and also like fourth house Venus, he'll also really, really like value his home, his family, and his childhood. And the moon conjunct the IC, he'll have a very deep emotional attachment to his childhood. So like that is playing a massive role into his ultimate success. So remember that. Like it's very important. And he's experiencing it right now. And with Venus close by, it's a good sign, especially with your healing and everything. It's a very good sign. But the fact that it's Ices in Scorpio, right? Is there any? No, there's nothing. He comes from a lineage, karmic lineage of Scorpio. You know, of that intensity within the family. So, you know, maybe he will have a karmic task of like aligning some of like the ancestral stuff. I think definitely the first, maybe both of them, like at least for males in the family, of like kind of changing something that's like a cycle, or like a toxic thing in the family when they move into their very, very water oriented, right, missions, north nodes. One's Pisces, one's Cancer. So you see the similarities between these two? Capricorn, Virgo, North Node in Pisces, North Node in Cancer, and North Node in Cancer in the house of Pisces. So it's like he's really meant to like move away from that over reliance on materialism, even though, like your first son, it comes so natural to him, and move into a life where he's finding that oneness and that divine kind of love, and there's no synchronicity that you're his mother. No synchronicity doesn't even make sense. It is a synchronicity, or it makes sense. Like there's a reason. um hmm. What is Vesta saying, or Pallas saying? Highly intelligent and eager to acquire knowledge. Your communication skills are keen. You may have many creative and original ideas. Possibly, you're able to see both sides of a story and help bring opposite parties into agreement. You are a diplomat and a defender of justice. Yeah, so it's like the wisdom seeker is Pallas, Athena. So yeah, like this. So this next house is very, very key. And then also let's talk about Ceres. Ceres, remember, like the second moon in Scorpio. So they're both in Scorpio, right? So you feel cared for when your loved ones intensely focus their attention on you. You're emotionally committed to those who choose you, to those close to you. And fourth house, caring for your family or anyone in your home is vital to you. Your role as a parent will be a cornerstone of your life. You may have a strong and idealized attachment to your mother. Aww. I see that. I feel that too with the Venus. And the moon on the IC. So you're the moon, the mother. So in the Venus conjunct the moon, so much love for the mother, like like tons, like intense love, karmic love. Um, okay, that's what I thought. 8, 8, 8. Okay, so yeah, Then I was like, this all his energy falling in your 12th? No, it falls in your 11th. So, yeah, like basically like that Scorpio energy, it helps you towards your goals. It helps you towards your major life goals, and community, finding the right community, like in some kind of magical way. Okay, move on to fifth house, ruled by Jupiter, with Jupiter in it. Ooh, yeah, this is the part of the chart that we must push and push and push. Jupiter in the fifth in Sag, just like the first sun, keen. At the degree of Aquarius, like the teacher, the first, like this is a high energy for you know, for being a student of life and wanting to learn higher spirituality and wanting to learn just about all areas of life, right? So like, and then so with that and Sag, like, you know, it is very nice. And basically he's able to really expand himself through his creativity. So when he can find those outlets, that's like where he shines. And once again, all three kids, important to experience different cultures. Can't say it enough. Especially with like the 12th house, it's like important for him to know like how life is for people from like Indonesia or like wherever the hell it is. You know what I mean? Understand the differences. But yeah, this is very, very like he's like meant to like very like. I wonder if like both of them will like end up like working together. I have to kind of look at like how they connect. But yeah, okay. Moving on. Mercury in the fifth, also in Sag, like that makes him like a very broad-minded like individual. It's kind of close to Galactic Center, not quite there, but still, you know. And wow, oh no, okay, his Jupiter is just outside the range of Antares, so just missed out on that royal star. Um, so yeah, like with that energy, you know, which is conjunct my moon, not that that matters in the least bit. There's definitely something there. Around like really him wanting to like delve deep into truth and yeah, and figure things out. Figure things out in his own way. And it's quite nice. It's quite nice indeed. It's quite nice indeed. Yeah, and then like finding a way, like once again, to channel all that into a creative. Maybe like he finds his work, his dharma is linked, you know, with his midheaven Taurus. It's linked to like what he does for fun is his job potentially. But yeah, this is great for creativity and inner child, and this is so needed with this loaded sixth house. We talked about this. You know, so he also has to watch out for, I mean, like for overworking with Pluto there. You know, Pluto conjunct South Node. Ooh, that's a tough one. He's been a very powerful person in past lives, but it could have been in a more dark way. It's not a square, and Pluto, you know, maybe he was like a magician, but like that. No, I feel like because it's in Capricorn and the sun's there, but like still like, you know, yeah, there's a potential of no, because I wouldn't be saying that. Like I think he was, you know, like maybe like the king of the underworld or like something like that, like a badass, you know. Um, but there's definitely some like past life, but it's not a square like mine is, where it's like, you know, it's a conjunction. So like maybe he just was like very like combined strong alliances, stuff like that. Saturn there, once again, double indication he needs to not overwork himself. And this is like have I said this about every kid, that you have to like really teach them about perfectionism and that their value is not determined by what they output. And as a Virgo, you have to watch out for that because you're a Virgo. Um, so that's, you know, your own work playing into your children's fate. Um, yeah, of course, 10th degree is Capricorn degree, and he's a Capricorn. So, yeah, double Capricorn. Um, and yeah, like, seventh house in Aquarius, So like that adds a dimension, you know, Black Moon Lilith, and let's go to my face. Let's go to my face. We round this out. You know, like that adds a dimension that's interesting in relationships where it's like he needs that stability with Juno there in Taurus. He needs that consistency, but he also needs and you know that ability to like express all his emotions and someone who can be that rock to him, but also like, you know, someone who's different and who's eccentric and not who's individualistic. Now, Black Moon Lilith in Aquarius, you know, Aquarius's low side is that it can be very aloof and it can be a bit cold, and that is also what Capricorn is like, right? But it's also related to friendships. So he might like be so intense with that Scorpio moon that he might like expect too much from his friendships. If that makes sense, right? He might expect too much from his friendships. So yeah. And then you got also conjunct Black Moon Lilith is Vesta. Remember, that's the one that's like the flame of life. So yeah, like there's a big focus on intimate relationships. And there's a big need to have a lot of freedom also in his everyday life, and there's a commitment to humanitarianism and a big need for expressing individuality and for not being stuck in that, like what can be seen as that like the potential to be stuck in that Saturn realm. So his Saturn return will be a huge point in his life. So the eighth house, we move forward just like your first son, eighth house Neptune in Pisces with Chiron there. So they could literally both be like hit like spiritual teachers. Like, and his Chiron's exactly as same as my son. I have some stuff in common with this guy, Connor. So yeah, he'll be just like Keen. They'll both be very like tapped in, like you know, Keen more probably. Actually, no, because he's a Scorpio moon. So they'll both be very tapped in to the energy, and they'll really need to find ways to kind of like go through that death, rebirth, transformation. And maybe Connor will be able to use Keen's experiences as an example of how to do it. So Keen has a lot on his shoulders, right? He has to carry the torch. He has to be the leader. He has to be the first one to do it. So yeah. Um, and then yeah, also like, you know, Chiron and Pisces in the eighth, like someone who could be a spiritual healer, you know. Yeah, painful, like there can be like lots of pain to the undercurrents of the world, like really like picking up on that. And once again, watch out for escapism. But like I don't see it that much in this chart, like literally actually barely at all. Just with the Scorpio moon, how that can kind of manifest sometimes. So Mars and Aries, boom, that's the firepower and 0 degrees. So it's like you gotta, and it's basically, oh, it's conjunct Chiron, but it's like besides that, it's unaspected. And man, that, my friend, is a firepower. It's in the ninth house. So on one end, the conjunction with Chiron, that gives him, it's on like the 0 Aries point. Whew, it's a powerful energy. So this gives him like this real entrepreneurial spirit, this real like, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna go. He needs to play sports. He needs to be active, which they both do. They both do, both kids do. Both sons at least. And yeah, like basically like it could just get in this firepower um towards being a healer eventually, but like you know, in the ninth house, it's about exploring life. So he's gonna be a big explorer, someone who wants to just like travel, um, physically or metaphorically, as I said, you know, and he has also, like Keen, Uranus in the 9th house. You see these connections? You see how, like, there's so many synchronicities? I want to plug in their charts together after this too, just like side to side. But I already have it, like, them all coded in my head, so whatever. But yeah, like Uranus and 9th house, like they'll both have very, very like different types of philosophies that probably differ from the mainstream norm. Very original, like rebelling against like the orthodox kind of like, so like any kind of thing of like view philosophy force on them, they will reject that shit easy. So yeah, like that's interesting. Mars and Aries is like the most dominant energy possible. Like super strong drive to initiate activities, very spontaneous, very risk taking, which not as much as Keen, but you know, this is very risk taking, but he doesn't have any hard aspects of his entire chart. Like literally just Mars square Mercury. That's the only square he has. Like literally. And let me double check that because sometimes it doesn't show me all of them. It like has weird orbs. Let me just see if there's anything here. I guess he has Black Moon, Lilith, Square Moon. So that, I mean, it goes without saying. It's like it just shows that like it's basically just saying that he can manifest the lowest energy of Scorpio, of manipulation, of obsession, of all that Scorpionic stuff. He has to watch out for that, basically. And then none on the other side, none there. So yeah. And then the sun, no, no, no. And then no, 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 no. Yeah. But the ascendant, okay, I love how he's a Leo rising. So like I haven't really like Leo risings that they all, like I said, they all have like a very like it's fixed fire. So it's like they can start things like Mars and Aries too, start things like and then finish them. It's amazing, right? Elemental grand trine with Jupiter. 11-degree orb, but like still, you know, it's elemental. Um yeah. So I was just thinking for a sec. So basically, you know, Sun rules his chart. Sun's in 6th house. So like being of service is also extremely important. Pluto in the 6th house, just like who? Keen. So they both are meant to get past a past life tendency of being overly masculine, overly in that realm, but not ignoring it because they still are those signs, but moving into their emotions and moving into a new way of being, right? Moving into a new way of being and seeing reality. And ultimately, like the more he can be of service, the more both of them can be of service, the better it is for their karma and for all the energies, especially with Connor and his Scorpio moon. You know, he could be a natural psychologist, something like that. You know, this reading is giving me so much energy. Like I've been like afraid to dive into these family readings. I've just been like in kind of like a low place, but I always forget how much energy. Like when I know I just nailed the reading, it's not even done yet. But I'm just seeing so much stuff. So yeah, the Leo rising, like he will feel as though there's a very strong creative purpose to his life, and it's his job to figure out what that is. It's his job to be in touch with his inner child. As a Leo rising, he will be like that anyways. But like to not fall victim to the 0-degree energy of these two fire energies, which is that impulsivity and that like haven't been here before. This is new to me, this fire. So like learning restraint, just like the first sun. Of course, the first Keen stuff was way more intense. Okay, basically said all that. Midheaven in Taurus, conjunct Juno. You know, maybe his I can't like his partner. I can't presume sexual orientation. That's bad, and it's also truly like you don't know who the fuck knows. But his partner, which I would guess would be a female because it's Juno, will probably. I just spilled. God damn it! No. Sec. These my spit. I have no water close. Come on, come on, come off, come off, come off. I got it off. Mostly. I'm getting cat hair. Ugh. I literally cleaned my whole house today. I'm back in my whole house. And then this happens. Come on, get off, get off. Okay, it's pretty much off. I know your Virgo-ness is like, no! Joking. But I'm also very Virgo, even though I haven't done it in my chart. Okay. Nice, that's such a good idea. 1 second, I need to write down. Just the basic of it, so I don't forget. Hold on, I'm sorry. When I have ideas, I can't not type, like just type the basics of them, or they go, like they don't come back. It's just an Aquarius thing. Your daughter will be like literally like what I'm doing right now. Like your daughter will be like this. I'm positive. My fucking cat hair everywhere. Okay, 1 second. Yeah. So okay. I mean, overall, Connor will want, a career that's stable, but he's also gonna really want to make a difference through his career. And I feel like he'll be a very interesting individual. That now let's see the stars, and then I want to see like the charts next to each other. Mainly like the two suns. I really want to see that. Okay, let's just see what's going on. Fuck, it's already midnight. Okay, nothing there, nothing there, nothing there. Already talked about that. Nothing there. Ooh. Did she talk about? So he also has. I'm trying to look for something. Industria. Okay. Is there anything on Mars? No. Yeah, he could be someone who like finds success like in the travel industry, like travel vlogging, something that involves like traveling, also politics, teaching, which I saw with, in different things like with the yeah. Okay, so yeah, so that's that. As we move on, what is this? What is this? Okay, that's nothing. Actually, is it something? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Okay, here it is. Where we will continue to receive our karma throughout life. And where was it? Pluto. Yeah. So like literally like by being of service, that's where he will continue to receive his karma throughout life. Okay, moving on. Let's see. Nothing, 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 nothing. Nothing conjunct that planet. Nothing conjunct that planet. And ooh la la. It's close enough because it's at 10 degrees because he's born so recently in Taurus. Let's pull that up. And Taurus, because like if it was Aldebaran, I'd be like, money, money, money. And Taurus and Jupiter has to be posits, one of the 4 real stars. And it is within, 1.5, so it's not exact. It's actually pretty, it's like kind of just on the limit, but it's still doing something. Great religious zeal, real or pretended. They always use this word. Ecclesiastical preferment. Ecclesiastical preferment. Tendency to hypocrisy, benefits to relatives. Mental alertness, strategic ability, and courage, and makes daredevils. Ooh, we saw that with lots of different people, or with both sons. Now, dun dun dun. Serpentis conjunct Venus. I have it like literally. It's like one of my. I have it searched. So many of my clients. I end up always like pulling this one up. But what does it mean with Venus? Because it's like the fixed stars. You have no idea how complicated they are. Maybe you do, but okay. It says, okay. I don't even know what that word means. Stop using these big vocabulary words. I'm not stupid, but like, what does enmity mean? It says enmity, jealousy of own sex, bad for domestic affairs, favorable for gain though. So shit, it's not that bad. Venus, it is a very, very bad fixed star. Like everyone says it, but Venus is sugarcoating it. Also, it could be very, very good for high spirituality when he leans into that. Besides that, Vulcanus exact rising. Damn. So he's got that trine and Vulcanus rising. He is gonna have a lot of firepower, and it's gonna need to be contained through some kind of sport or something, some kind of creative outlet, something to get that energy out. All right, and then the node square Uranus. Damn. So he has past life karma where he was like conditioned, where he's trying to break through past life conditioning in this life. That's very interesting. He's trying to break through past life, like he was like not allowed to fully what's the word, like individualize and be his own person in past life. That's why he has so much of that Capricornian style, like past life energy. All right, now I want to see these two as we kind of get towards the end. This is a long ass reading. The beautiful one. Okay, I just want to see this. Okay, so we got this. Okay. 25. That's what I thought. So the two suns have opposite moons. That would be interesting. One's Taurus moon, one's Cancer moon, or Scorpio moon. So they'll be able to combine that type of way also. Like it's interesting, but like the rest of their charts very like, there's so many commonalities. But perhaps seeing Keen will be able to, help ground his younger brother. But like they're born quite years apart, 12 years apart. Hold up. One second. I accidentally opened a DM. I'm searching for something else. So I have to just respond, but I'm trying to go to my original conversation with you in the DMs of my other one. Yeah, okay. Just making sure. Yeah, okay. So yeah, there's a big age gap, but like, as you get older, a brother's a brother, a sister's a sister. Okay, I just want to see that. And then, yeah. Yeah, and exactly, both of them have 10-degree Earth suns. Exact degree, exactly the same. So, like, that's gonna create a bond. Like, it's like if I is a 28-degree Pisces, if my brother had a 28-degree Scorpio or a 28-degree, maybe not Scorpio, 28-degree Cancer, which he has a Cancer, a 28-degree Cancer sun. And then he had a Gemini moon instead of a Sag moon. Yeah, that'd be like, or a Cat moon. That'd be very interesting. Probably be a lot more on the same page. But then again, opposites do attract in every facet of life. So, anyways, okay, so that's kind of that. Dad, he plays into it by, that, but by, through the Sag rising, he's able to really affect, help Kwame, I forgot how to pronounce it. Help the daughter with her with expressing that energy, and help all of them with expressing that need to travel and that need for adventure. The Cat moon will provide lots of grounding to the daughter. But the fact that it's conjunct Neptune, Neptune will help the if he's integrated spiritually, it will help the two sons move into a higher place of spirituality. So, and then, yeah, all that Gemini energy, where does it fall in each chart? It falls in the 11th house for Connor, so it's like, it's giving him confidence towards his major life goals. In Quiva, I remembered it. It's falling in the 7th house, as I said before. I already talked about that. And in Keen, it's falling in the 12th house. Ooh, shit, 16. So, okay. Oh, okay. So Enda's Venus falls on Keen's Mars, but all his energy, his energy falls in Keen's 12th house. So they have a lot of karma together. But yeah, I basically have said all I can really say. Let me see one other thing. I can see his aspects just really quickly. Yeah, as I thought. Yeah. Okay. So one thing about Enda's chart, that wasn't really part of this whole thing, was just kind of a side thing, is like he has felt how it feels to like feel disempowered in a sense. And it just really depends on how he's integrated that. He's probably felt misunderstood, and if he's integrated that in a positive way, he can really help out, especially like the daughter, but really everyone. So that's about it. I look forward to the follow-up to go more into detail with everything. 3 hours 16, damn. So amazing reading. I don't want to have your brain explode. But yeah, obviously there's a lot here. Actually, let me go back to one thing. because I need to see one thing. Virgo. So yeah, like I talked about how you really help scenes, Keen, excuse me, his feelings of intellect and helping him move towards that higher mind where he can get to his North Node in Pisces. The Virgo in this chart in Cuevas falls in the 10th. So you're really helping her in her biggest mission of career, of manifesting career, manifesting getting away from keeping yourself in too much, and not manifesting her higher purpose, like within the outer world. And then in Connor, it's really about boosting his self-esteem, helping ground him, falls in the second house, but like in entrenching him or enriching him with a sense of values they can then base all his decisions off of. Super important. So yeah, that's about it. And we have a follow-up, I believe. Let me just double check that. Yeah, we do. What am I writing? Oh, I see. Okay, gotcha. So yeah, this has been extremely interesting for me. I must say, and I'm sure for you as well. I mean, lots of info. Hold up one sec. So that's how it is. So you see kind of how the karma is running between them, and how it relates to you. It's just interesting to me. Anyways, hold on. So yeah, that's it. I will end the recording here, and I will jump on. No, I'll take a little break. Or actually, I don't like taking breaks. When I'm hot, you know? But yeah, my first family reading. Not first. First since I've been back. First of 3. So, hope you enjoyed. It's a pleasure. Talk soon.